Thank you very much, Chair. First and foremost, I'm delighted to be here presenting this particular report to the Parliament. The financial sector has always been an attractive target for cyber attacks given the potential lucrative gains. Cyber security, as all security, has been a long-standing priority for the sector. However, the legal requirements on financial entities across the EU differed depending on the services they provided or where they were located. There was just a patchwork of rules and regulation. Moreover, as the sector became more digitised, the interconnectivity with and the reliance on the tech sector has increased the chances and the risks of cyber attack. DORA seeks to address both of these issues to create a robust and harmonised security framework across the entire EU financial sector. And I suppose due to the geopolitical issues, the importance of this framework has unfortunately been thrown into the limelight and become more pertinent since Russia has invaded Ukraine. And it does indicate the great risk that we are at. If we have a very aggressive neighbour like Russia that is willing to attack people, destroy electrical infrastructure, to make people cold, to use food as a weapon, to weaponise energy, will then be in no doubt that Russia would be willing and very capable of attacking our fundamentals in terms of financial services, and we have to be very conscious of that. I approach this file with three principles, Commission. First and foremost, proportionality, then future-proofing and maintaining and encouraging the competitiveness of the EU's financial services and tech sectors. And I think we achieve that in the final text. DORA takes an ambitious approach to third-party ICT providers, such as cloud computing providers, to the financial sector, in that it introduces an oversight framework. It was very important to ensure this oversight framework had robust and just governance, and that we recognise that such oversight is novel and there will be many lessons to be learned from it and expertise to be developed in the period ahead. Therefore, despite some initial reluctance from Member States, the resulting governance structures ensures that all European financial supervisors are involved and that they don't start working in silos again at Member State level. In other words, there's a cross-fertilisation of ideas. I am proud to say that as co-legislators we avoided imposing location requirements. This was quite a contentious issue early on ICT providers. Building a fortress Europe and making it unattractive for global companies to do business with our European companies will not strengthen the security of EU markets. I would urge the Commission to avoid undermining the approach taken to third country ICT providers in DORA, for example, and in the upcoming EU cloud certification scheme. The agreement was voted in Econ on July 2022 with 41 in favour, 0 against and 6 abstentions. I have to say, though, I am extremely disappointed with ID, who have tabled a number of amendments. And I don't mean to make an overtly political point on this, but time and again we see people on the left and on the very right tabling amendments on an agreed compromise text. And I wouldn't mind if they were involved in the process, but they never engaged in it. And my office was as open with every political grouping, and not once was there any engagement from ID. So from that perspective, I am deeply, deeply disappointed that we now see amendments being tabled when there was an opportunity to engage in the process whereby we actually agreed a text between most political groupings. Therefore, I would urge the House to vote against the amendments and stick to the agreed text. Finally, I'd like to thank Miklas Peska, the rapporteur of the DORA Directive, and my Renew colleague Bart Groothuis, and the rapporteur of the NIS Directive for their cooperation and alignment during the legislative process. And finally, I'd like to thank all the shadow rapporteurs, Deputy Francis Fitzgerald, a colleague of mine as well, and all the others who engaged in the process. So, thank you very much. I will be summing up later on, so I'll be able to thank you on an individual basis as well. Thank you very much.